Hi everyone. Today we will look at data integration, an important topic for data analysis. So what is data integration? At the high level, it means compiling data from multiple sources to form one unified data set. But why do we need to combine data in the first place? How common is that? To answer this question, take a moment and think about the websites, online services, or apps that you use on your phone or computer. For example, you probably use search engines like Google, Yahoo, or Bing every day. Do search engines need to integrate data? Yes, very much so. And the main reason is that businesses derive value through data integration so that they can better engage their customers. If you use Google today, let's say to search for Atlanta, what you see on the search results page contains more than just web pages. You will also see news stories, things to do in Atlanta, and information about the city of Atlanta. All this information comes from multiple sources. For example, the news stories come from news agencies. Information about the city of Atlanta may come from Wikipedia. Smart assistants like Siri also do integration behind the scenes. For example, the reason they can answer questions asking about stock prices, weather, facts and definitions, or events happening in the city is because they have access to many data sources that provide such information. Similarly, for travel websites like Kayak, they also integrate multiple data sources. For example, by having access to hotel prices, flight prices, and car rental prices, these websites can offer customers combo deals, which may be appealing to the customers, helping to bring more business to the site. There are actually many more examples. Social network websites like Facebook would combine data from users, businesses, and advertisers to provide a richer environment for their users. For example, on Facebook, you can see your friends' posts, reviews of places you may want to go, and advertisements that may be relevant to you. On-demand car ride apps like Uber and Lyft integrate data about drivers, potential riders, and traffic information to connect riders to drivers. So how to do data integration? Here we first look at the easier ways to integrate data. If the data sets are already in some kind of databases, then it can be relatively easy to integrate them. For example, let's say we have two toy data sets. One is a database of people, and another is a database of salaries. Combining these two data sets will only require the use of join statements, as long as each person has already been assigned an ID. For example, in our toy data set, Smith has the ID 111, Johnson has the ID 222. But what if we don't have such IDs? You may be able to use tools like OpenRefine to help you to figure out the IDs. Visit OpenRefine's website and watch the third video there that is titled Reconcile and Match Data to learn about how OpenRefine can help you figure out the unique IDs of movies. After watching the movie, come back and we'll continue to look at how that is done. Welcome back. From the OpenRefine video, you saw that you can have multiple movies with the same similar names, such as Ocean's 11, where the 2001 version was a remake of the original 1960 version. Being able to identify which is important in practice. Imagine the danger of mixing up the medical records of two different patients who have the same name. So IDs are important, but who creates them? Freebase was a major effort that made this happen. It was a crowdsourced knowledge base where people collectively labeled anything you can imagine and give them unique IDs. Now watch the Freebase intro video to learn about what Freebase is and what it can do. Welcome back. From the Freebase intro video, you saw that Freebase not only assigns ID to things, it also links the things if they are related. In other words, you end up getting a graph of entities, which is also called a knowledge graph. So what can you do with the Freebase knowledge graph? A little hint for you. Google acquired it in 2010. And now Google has something called Google Knowledge Graph. Visit its homepage and watch the two intro videos there to learn about what it can do. Welcome back. Does the Google Knowledge Graph remind you of Freebase? It should, because Google's Knowledge Graph is powered in part by Freebase. And Google uses the graph to pull in information that you may care about. into the search results page of your query. Remember the example you saw earlier on where we Googled for Atlanta, and we will see tourist attractions in Atlanta. Such attractions are entities into knowledge graph that are linked to Atlanta. In other words, Google leverages the graph to enhance your search experience with potentially interesting information. Google has opened up its knowledge graph for you to access via its API. For example, you can use the API to find information about Taylor Swift. The API returns that information in JSON format. You can see that Taylor Swift has her own unique ID, and her description is singer-songwriter. There's a link to her picture and also a link to her homepage. So having a knowledge graph of entities where everything is uniquely labeled is really helpful to Google. And in fact, not only Google, but to Facebook too. And Facebook introduced a similar kind of knowledge base built on top of its user and their information. And it is called Graph Search. Now watch a Graph Search intro video to learn about what it can do and how Facebook uses it to enhance your experience when using its platform. In this video, we talk about data integration and learn that it is a very common thing to do because many companies derive values and enhance user experience by combining data from multiple sources. We also discussed the important role of entity IDs and that Freebase was a major effort to create such IDs. Freebase was acquired by Google and is now powering its knowledge graph that enhances search experience by pulling in relevant information for the user.